Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Tuesday. We're here to talk about how to buy houses with no money from you. Who's interested in that? My name is Victor Maas. Who's never been here before to any of our meetings? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, a good chunk of you. Thank you very much for coming. A lot of you know that I'm a real estate attorney, real estate broker, real estate investor, but what I really am is so for the new people, what am I? Nobody cares that I'm a lawyer. Nobody cares that I'm a broker. Nobody cares that I'm an investor. Can I solve their problem? So to get started with what you are here for today is how to buy houses with no money. You can buy as many houses as you get your hands on with none of your money if you can help solve people's problems. What you are is a matchmaker. On one side, you're trying to find people with problems. On the other side, people that want to rehab houses. Any rehabbers in the room? There you go. There's the right side of the scenario. Anybody have a house they want to get rid of today? Raise your hand. There's one person, so go talk to the other ones, okay? You got 10 folks who want to buy your house. There it is. I think of real estate investing logically, unemotional. When it comes to real estate, look at it as a reverse engineered product. What do my wholesale buyers want? What do they want? Because no one cares what I want. Y'all get me? So focus on what wholesale buyers want. Focus on what retail buyers want. Funniest thing is, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. They want the same thing, which is minimum 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, $200,000 retail, give or take, near good schools, in the right zip codes. Pretty simple, right? There's no rocket science to this. That's why I like this game. They want 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage, 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, near good schools, preferably on a quiet street, preferably on a cul-de-sac, preferably 1 story, preferably no foundation, no roof issues, no HVAC issues. That's the perfect scenario. Can we agree? Okay, go find that. That's your job. You have got to learn where to look for these type of deals. So if you want to write this down to the new people, I'm going to give you some lead generation ideas. Research these on your own. Don't take my word for it. Do it yourself. Number 1, the easiest thing is to figure out the zip codes that people want and just go driving for dollars in those neighborhoods. And you may go for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Take your foot off the gas and just coast up and down streets, looking for nasty, disgusting, vacant-looking homes. Little tricks of the trade. Look for homes that have their mailbox rubber band. Look for old phone books, old newspapers, weeds growing in the gutters. I've seen those many times. Water hoses are gone. You're not sure, get out. Check the water outside. Look in the windows. Don't be in there more than 20, 30 seconds. You're not there to convince anybody to buy their home when it's vacant. Okay, you just want to get in, get out. Make a list for yourself. Out of 100 properties, you might have 20 or 30 really good leads. Number 2, you can look at pre-foreclosures. They're starting to come back. The moratorium on evictions is over. As an investor, I'm sorry to say, I'm grateful. You know, as a fellow citizen, I'm a little sad because there's going to be a lot of people being thrown on their asses here because they don't want to pay rent. And a lot of those people just don't want to work. There's got to be a balancing act there. Code violations, city liens, search engine optimization, create a website. Go to investorcarrot.com or carrot.com. Create a website. Do some advertising, pay-per-click. Do something. Unless you're willing to do something, you're never going to get the deals you want. Nobody cares what you want. Nobody cares what you want. Nobody cares what you want. You got to go get it. I didn't grow up one day as a kid thinking, ooh, I want to get into real estate investing. But I challenge any of you to give me a career field that gives you the time freedom to do this. You do 1 or 2 deals and you can coast the rest of the year. Name me any other career field that the average person can do with none of their money. Anybody? So I want to talk to you guys, if you want to write these down, Ways to buy properties with none of your money. That's why you're here today. So here goes. The easiest way is to get a partner who has the cash. Okay? You can partner with somebody as like a joint venture agreement. So that's the easiest way to buy properties with none of your money. The second way is to borrow the money, but now you're on the hook. You might be personally liable when you buy properties. And if you're not really experienced, you might make a big mistake. It might be scary for you. But that is an option. You can borrow, against your home. You can go and just get a regular loan. You can get a hard money loan. That's where they charge you high interest rate. Think of it any hard money guys in the room? Maurice is back there. If you want the guy with the dough, go see Maurice afterwards. He's one of our vendors. You can always do private money. Someone maybe you're acquainted with. Don't do business with family. You're just asking for trouble. Don't do business with any family. Just deal with somebody you're acquainted with and give them a good return on their investment and put a lien against the property. I had a client, I kid you not, Dave. She let some woman let like 120 grand somebody do a deal. No note, no deed of trust. Yeah. No bueno. And so I said, the only thing you do is sue them. Good luck. Everything has to be in writing. Okay. So, again, you don't need any money if you have a partner. Again, you can borrow the money, but I'm going to show you the most important way. How much money do you need to put a house under contract? Minimum. $10. So I'm going to give you a scenario. Dave, play along. Yep. Hey Dave, I'm going to buy your mom's house. Are you in or out?
I'm in.
Great. Here's a contract.
Okay.
120 grand. $10 earnest money. We're going to close in 3 weeks. And in there it says, Victor Maas is the buyer and or assigns. And then special provisions it says, buyer is a investor who intends to wholesale this property to one of his partners. And we will be changing the name to a different company as the buyer at closing. I need you to initial here as well. You with me so far? So now I have it under contract. And I just oversimplified it just to make it easier on you guys. But then I go find Dorian here, and he's a flipper. He likes to rehab and flip houses. Dorian, would you like to buy this property? I'm in it for 120. I'm going to wholesale it to you for 135. I want to make 15 grand. You go do your own due diligence. If you're good, let's talk. He goes, looks at the property. Yep, I'm in. Makes sense to me. I need 30 in rehab. I'm going to start for 220. I'm all in. Great. Sign this assignment contract. I want 15,000 wholesale fee for you. You know what? Give me 3,000 up front and the rest at closing. Give me half now. Give me all of it now. I don't really care. Depending on our relationship will determine how much he'll give me up front to lock up the deal. He signs it, I sign it, we give it to the title company. He is now the buyer. It's Dorian's buying the property. He's coming up with 120 at closing, plus outside of closing, he'll give me the rest of it, so it doesn't even show up on the settlement statement. Would anybody like a free wholesale contract? Go to my website, maaslawfirm.com. Maas Law Firm, M-A-A-S, lawfirm.com. Right in the middle, there's forms, and there's an assignment of contract, and an example for you. Okay? There you go. Any other ways to buy properties with none of your money? Anybody have an idea? Raise your hand. Go ahead, Jim. Subject to, my favorite. So, this is the easiest, best way to do a deal, in my opinion. You're not buying houses, you're buying problems. So Dave is the owner of a property. He's 3-4 months behind on his mortgage. He doesn't care. He's going through a horrible divorce. He lost his job, lost his pickup truck, lost his dog. Country record, okay? Dave, let me have your house. I'll take over the payments. That way I can get it caught up and then you don't ruin your credit. You in?
I'm in.
He's in. It's a simplified version, but that's the crux of it all. Y'all with me? So he'll sign. a subject to package. And on the firm website, there's a checklist for those. There's a one-page contract that I can have Dave sign as the seller, me as the buyer, so we can close the deal. He's going to sign at closing a deed, subject to all liens and judgments, a 3-page disclosure, a limited power of attorney, so we can communicate with who? The lender, the law firm that might be foreclosing, the insurance company, do a change of address. We need that power of attorney. Notarized, signed, everything. And I'm going to sign a deed of trust to secure the assumption so that if I don't do my part, Dave can foreclose on me. Y'all with me? Protect everybody. So that's another way to buy a property with no money. And you know how much it costs the investor to do these subject to transactions as far as with the seller? $10. Can y'all afford $10? Yeah. What else could you do with that seller? You could give him some money. Tell you what, I'll give you $5,000, but I need 60 days. I need 30 days. I'll sign a contract with you. In that meantime, you clean out the home, you wholesale it, you get your paid your 15 grand, and I owe you $1,000, then I'll pay you then. You can negotiate anything. You're only limited by what? Your creativity. That's your only limit, your creativity. How many realtors in the room? Okay. You guys are trained to do what? Think inside the box. Investors are supposed to be trained to what? Think outside the box. That's right. So any other ideas to acquire properties with no money down, none of your money? Pretty simple, right? You don't need 100 ideas. You need about 3, 4, 5 good ideas, and that's it. Master those 3, 4, 5 ideas. Okay? I've done hundreds of subject to transactions. They're so easy. They're so easy. The sales pitch is, I want to give you payment relief. I want to save your credit. There is another way. I really like this next one. It only works in certain circumstances, but it's called a lease with an option to buy. I want to lease your property. I want to go in there and do some work, not serious work, just, new flooring or this or that. And then I want to be able to sell the property to someone else. Are you okay with that, Mr. Seller? If you're putting up all the money and you're paying me rent until it's done, absolutely. Yeah, there's no ownership transfer. I don't recommend that for novice investors, but I've done it many a times. In fact, my first deal I ever did, that's what I did, a lease with an option to purchase. Okay? The bad news is when the sellers have to close and they see how much you're making, they lose their mind. So, a little trick to that is to get a power of attorney signed by them at the title company. There you go. And you can zero them out. Everything can be paid directly to you. That's right. Pretty advanced stuff, right? Victor's freaking awesome, right? I'm joking. What do you got, Rick?
So we have somebody who was getting married, and the wife wants to buy a house, but he can't get out of this because he's buried. He has no equity. But he can't afford 2 house payments.
Right.
So I wrote a subject to that we were going to take over his payments. The third party was going to send him a check to the mortgage company made out to them 2 weeks prior. His mortgage was 12. I'm going to lease it out to somebody for 15 for 5 years, keep the money, and then at that point, I sell it, keep all the equity, give him his out, and now I've just acquired real estate property with no money out of pocket.
Correct.
And not go, and the credit stays in his name.
That's right.
Now so it doesn't tie up our debt ratio. So that was another way we acquired 2 properties.
I'm gonna let you guys know on something. Listen up, just numbers. This whole thing is just games of numbers. For every 100 properties where a seller needs to sell, must sell, ought to sell, should sell, for every 100 properties, about 90% of them do not have enough equity for you to wholesale or flip. Y'all get me? So what do you do when you have lemons? What do you do?
Make lemonade.
You make lemonade. Thank you, Cole. You're so helpful.
Welcome,
Thank you,
man.
bud. So, a subject to transaction is a great way to make money. I'm telling you, 90% of the deals out there, you guys are saying, oh, there's not enough equity, there's not enough equity. You don't have to pass on a lot of them. Some you do. You know, they are worth 200 grand, they owe 190, but it needs 50,000 in rehab and they're $40,000 behind in their mortgage. Yeah, you gotta pass on those. But what about the properties where they're only 2 or 3 months behind? What if all it needs is carpet, shampoo, and a little landscaping? Y'all with me? That's the majority of the properties. So you can do a subject to, turn around and rent it. You can turn around and owner finance on a wrap. Most of those properties you want to go after are outside 1604. They don't need much maintenance to get them looking nice again. How many of those could you acquire? As many as you get your hands on. Okay? What you got, Rick?
This is the irony I just figured out when I was sitting down. We actually did this in your office when you were on Cherry Ridge in 2014 when I didn't even know you. And we actually did the subject to contract over there with one of your assistants. That's the irony. I didn't even know who you were.
Yeah. They've been doing subject twos for 150 years. Okay? People take out loans all the time. Lenders never call the loans due unless it's ran out books, Federal Credit Union. Security Service, they don't care. Dorian's the Security Service branch manager. I'm just teasing him.
Well, I think there's another thing here, and we're talking about single family, but this model works for land. It works for multifamily. Whether it's subject to or whether it's just paying cash, the model works. And if you just follow the process and you talk to enough people, I promise you, we're in a situation right now. I'll tell you a quick story. I found a property about 2 months ago, talked to the realtor, and it's been tied up in probate. We actually made an offer yesterday.
Nice.
But we're in the second position, ran the formula the same way, did the homework. Gentleman died in April of 2019. He's got 3 sons and a daughter, and it's sitting in probate. It's been sitting there for, gosh, a year. There's an investor in front of us. My instincts tell me this investor is going to get tired of waiting because there's so many deals out there. Why tie up the money? And we made the same kind of offer on this deal yesterday. And I would put it probably, maybe we got a 30% chance. It costs us nothing to write that offer. Zero, zip, nada. I don't even have a truck agreement on this deal. All we got to do is, she knows if it falls out, we're behind it. And we've guaranteed, I guaranteed to pay her $2,500.
You're learning that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm learning that one. So, pay her $2,500 for
on the side.
When her listing expires, and she makes the money on the side, and she is still will battle for us. So, and then back to it, you can do the same thing with land. How many tired landlords are there out there right now who have, sat there and
Not collected rent for the last year.
Yeah, haven't collected rent for the last year. You don't think they're motivated? The model's the same. So you can do the same thing with a triplex, a quad. I tell you, my end game is, hey, I was just talking to a guy the other day who was buying 121 units in Phoenix. And not a bad little deal, great place. But at the same time, landlord is totally tired and wants out. And he's got a syndication of 5 guys, and they're going to go in and do it.
There it is. There it is. I said this earlier, some of you walked in late, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. It's just a system. It's just a system. Figure out what works for you. Each of you are different, but you got to have some system. It's like taking a shower. Do you need to do a different way of taking a shower every time? No. It's just a system. Figure out what deal leads you want to go after. Driving for dollars, pre-foreclosures, code violations, third-party list, whatever, and work it. This is not a hobby for us. We make real big-ass money here. We make more money on one deal than most people make in a year or 2 or 3. I did a rehab, closed on it June. I did a wholesale in July. I did another wholesale last month. I'm doing a wholesale with you. One a month. Generated probably, when it's all said and done, $350,000. Is that chump change? I'm not talking the deals I did before the summer. I'm not talking deals I'm going to do at the end of this summer. I mean this year. That's just 4 months. We'll do another one or two. But it's not like we're out there shoveling, coal or fixing roofs, or that's real work. We're just using our minds to figure out a system that works for us. I'm certain most of you here have a system for getting ready. I'm telling you, some of you take 20 minutes to get ready, some of you takes 2 hours to get ready. I know, some of these ladies take like 2 hours. Adriana, I know she does. 5 hours? Okay. 5 minutes? Okay. Yeah, 5 minutes. And Josue, hey, let's go out tonight, 7 o'clock. What time you gotta get ready? Starting at 4:30. He's the worst one in this room, I joke. But he dresses impeccably and he's always been good, but he's got his system. He's got his system to find deals. He's got his system to finding clients. What system do you have to get your next deal? Exactly. Nothing. Most people have nothing. Don't laugh. Part of the reason I put on this fiasco of a show every month is it costs me money to do the advertising, to pay for the food, to have staff. But it's part of my system to find folks to partner with, like Dave, or Jim and Rose, or Rick, or whomever. This is my system. One of my many systems, by the way. I don't just rely on this, I rely on other ways to find my own deals. When you do your first deal, I promise you, you just won't believe how amazing it makes you feel. I can't tell you how many students have told me I was able to pay off all my debt like that. I was able to find a house for myself and my family like that. As always, thank you for watching. For more real estate investment and legal real estate content, please subscribe to our channel. Please follow me on social media, which you can find linked in the description below. Don't forget to visit thevictormaas.com, where you can register for coaching and my future events. To listen to the podcast, please search for The Victor Maas Real Estate Show, wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, link below. Until next time, this is Victor Maas, signing off. Take care.